Hey everyone, welcome to Real Estate Tips and Tricks. I'm Angela Fazio. My co-host is Sam Saskal, and our guest today is Danielle Jansen. She's from Arizona. I love today's topic because I think even on this one, even if you're not in real estate, but you're in some other sales realm, that this topic is so good and so applicable over so many different ideas. So Danielle, thank you so much for being on today. And the topic today is the concept of cross marketing as a business owner. Mm-hmm. So welcome, Danielle.
Thank you.
Get us started.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. So just a little bit about me is I have a couple businesses, and I was sitting here when we were talking about what is a tip or trick that I can offer my fellow realtors. I was thinking, I think some of this stuff I'm just so used to doing, but maybe it's not normal for other people. Maybe they don't own another business, but they are entrenched in a community, whether it's their church, whether it's their kids' sporting, community that they've gotten to know all the parents, right? So whatever this is, you don't necessarily have to own another business or work with your spouse like I do. But maybe there's another outlet that you're heavily involved in. So these tips and tricks you can certainly use in those as well. All right. Okay. So I'm going to get started. And I just realized my glasses actually put like a glare because there's those blue light ones. So bear with me. So one of the first things I do, I'm just going to kind of spitfire these. And if you guys have any questions or want me to elaborate, I will. But one of the first things I do in my business to kind of commingle both of them is an email blast. So you can do this monthly, you can do this quarterly. But when my husband and I are doing our blast about our clinic we own, and our clinic's name is Evolve. So some of this might make sense if I share that, but we'll have all of our content information for that month or that quarter in the email. And at the very bottom, I put something like, is your home ready to evolve? Right. And so I'm trying to kind of commingle the brands. Yeah. And then what I do is I use my KV Core and I have my QR code and I make sure I put that in there and say, if you're interested to see what your home value is or how your home can evolve, go here. Right. So I'm always trying to do a call to action with my business out of his business. And
okay, let's pause right there, Danielle, because first of all, just in case somebody doesn't understand what the phrase call to action means, can you kind of just describe what that means?
Yeah. So for me, what it means is we can put our brand, we can put our face on everything, but if we don't leave them with asking them to do something, a call to action, I need you to do this if you want this. So if I can't read your mind that you're ready to know what your value of your home's worth, but if I have you step and take a picture of this, you're now going to come into my CRM. I'm lead generating right now. I'm capturing your information. I know you're ready. Right. So that takes it from a very cool lead to a warmer lead, right? Maybe they're not ready tomorrow, but I'm asking them to do something and they actually took that step. So I know that they are ready to rock. So that's what I always do with my call to actions. That's how I kind of frame it in my mind. So that's my newsletter. And so, like I said, you can do that on whatever frequency you want. We do it monthly, sometimes quarterly. The next thing I would share is partnering with a really good title business development manager. So if you're not utilizing a title company to help you market, you're missing out. So this one is kind of more real estate specific, right? But maybe in your industry, there's other industries that will help you market. I found someone local, if you're here in Arizona, who's fantastic. I mean, there's plenty of fantastic ones, but the lady that I use is on Instagram. Her name's Marketing for Realtors. Awesome. And a couple things she's helped me with in my business, I'm going to show you. Not that you're going to be able to see this super well, but one of the things she did was I sat down with her and said, here's my businesses. How can I make this work? Right? Because I'm sitting in my sphere of influence. We've had our clinic for about 8 years. These are people that already know, like, and trust us. So who would want to use us? Those people, right? So I used to think I need to hire a full-time manager. I got to get out of the clinic. I need to, try and meet all these people and get my face in front of people for real estate. I want to grow my business. And my husband looked at me and was like, are you crazy?
Hello.
With people that already they already know you. They already trust you. These people are far along going to use you versus random people you cold call, right? And it's like, yeah, that's right. So even though it's a little bit more work for me to try and multitask both, he's really right there, right? So when I sat down with my business development manager for the title company I use often, I said, what do we got to do here to maximize? And we came up with this idea of, it's kind of like a coupon, if you will. I don't know if you can see this, but basically it's a wrap card that sits on my desk. Does your household need to evolve? We do more than just make people heal better. So it's kind of this like little marketing tool. It's got, my husband's brand on it. And if you flip it over, it also has my brand on it. But what this is saying is, if you buy or sell with me, we want to honor that, and we will give you some perks at our office, our clinic. So we have kind of where I double dip a little bit of them, but I'm going, these people already invest in this business of ours. What can we do to thank them? It doesn't cost me any money. That's the other thing too, right? Because they're both businesses of ours. So that's one of the tricks. The other one.
So can I interrupt you right there and just let's generalize that a little bit?
Yeah. Yes.
Because I think when people go, well, I think that people immediately say, well, I'm not a business owner. I don't have another, like a chiropractic office or something. But I think if you want to think about this and ask yourself really good questions, I wish I could slow down. I'm a high D and I don't always slow down to think. But if you slow down and say, okay, I'm about to do something, or I am doing something, is there anything else this can accomplish? Are there more than one goals or whatever that I can accomplish with this one action? So in your case, you're saying, I already have this group of people. Now you think of your group of people. Maybe it's a mom's group, or it's you go work out, or you're in your sports or whatever that other group of people is. They already see me as value. Maybe they don't all like you, but some of them like you, right? And so what can you do with that audience to not only promote whatever you're doing over here, but to also bring them into this other part of your life that they haven't seen, which is maybe real estate or whatever. And it works both ways. You have to just stop and say, what am I doing? And can I use this thing to accomplish 2 things or 3 things or 4 things?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And I think we, as realtors, we get a little nervous especially if it's our close group of friends, almost to talk. We feel like we're talking about what we do too much. Right. But sometimes I don't even think some people know that you're really active in real estate or doing, I know a lot of people that are more part-time, and they kind of feel like they're being too pushy if they, bring it up to their friends or even family members. But sometimes people forget there are a lot of agents out there. And if you're not making yourself relevant to them, they're going to go to the next person that does, right? Even if you're family or friends, we've all had that happen, right? Where someone really close to you and they go, oh my gosh, I totally forgot your license, and it's like those ones burn the worst because you could have done something a little bit more. Yeah. So, depending on what your specific community or group is, there's something like, I'm a hockey mom. Both my girls are involved in ice skating. My one daughter's pretty big into hockey. If I'm snack parent, I might slip a little something in or put a little sticker on the bag that has some of my branding on it, right? You're trying not to be too pushy, but if you can find an area where it's like, how do I just nudge these people a little bit? You want them to think of you and know who you are. You want them to walk away from that connection going, yep, I know what Danielle does. Not only does my license plate say DJ sells, whatever, but I have some follow-up to who I am, because when you leave that room, you want people to go, yep, Danielle houses, Danielle real estate, right? So that's what I'm always thinking of when I go somewhere. It's how can I leave them with an impression so they don't forget what I do.
Well, they can not only not forget what you do, but you have to tell them how to do business with you. You can't just say, I'm a real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent. You have to say, I'm a real estate agent. And if you want to buy a house, this is what you do. Or if you want to sell a house or invest or whatever you're asking them to engage with you on, you would think it would be just common sense. Well, of course, you should just call me, but it's not. You need to say specifically, this is how you engage with me.
Yes. Yep. And that's actually one of my points later on, but might want to get to it now. So many people you just have to ask for the referral too. Maybe they're not ready, but they're talking about a cousin's cousin that's ready or could be ready or potentially selling a home. There's a stat, 91% of customers say they'd give a referral, but only 11% of salespeople ask for them. So if somebody says something like, oh, my cousin in whatever, I don't know if you'd serve her area or whatever. Hey, I'd love to talk with her. Give me your information. I'll call. If I can't help, I'll find someone that can, right? You just being a resource to someone else will put you top of mind to them. You know what? she couldn't help, but she found someone that could. They're now going to think of you the next time somebody else comes up. And so that's another thing that I have, kind of jumping ahead here, but I was just saying one of the biggest things is being a resource and a referral piece. So with that, one of my marketing tools I have, if people come to me and say, because they think of us as thought leaders, right? In real estate, we should know contractors, plumbers, electricians. We got to know it all. And we do for the most part, but sometimes you'll get messages all the time. And somebody would text me, I've never done a deal with them, but they know it's in my wheelhouse. And they'll say, hey, do you have a really good painter? We're looking at doing XYZ. Or, hey, do you know a dog door installer? So I said, I'm going to capitalize on this. I'm going to market this and co-brand a little bit. I had them create, and this isn't my colored copy, but it's a preferred vendor list. I don't know if you can see this.
I can.
Here at the very bottom, it's like hard with
I know it's so hard.
At the very bottom, you can see my branding. But essentially, I categorized everything from air conditioning repairs to my favorite home inspectors to landscapers to dog door install, the things people ask you for. Slap your brand on that. When I'm at the clinic or wherever I am, even if I've had a friend in California reach out to me, but I know they want to move to Arizona. They asked me for a referral. I just quickly sent them this because yes, it has a little bit more than what you asked, but it shows that I have connections with these vendors. These are things that I send my buyers, my sellers, whatever as well. And the more things you can get your brand on, the better it is. That's that peace of mind. So that's another marketing.
That kind of goes back to what Angela discussed last time about you take one copy with you somewhere. And if somebody asks, that's how you get their email. It would work for that. You have these preferred people.
And if you are going to text it, take a picture of it right on your phone and text that with your brand. So it's actually thinking of yourself as the CEO of your company, right? Because I think so often we don't do that. This is just like what we do. No, you're the CEO. You need to have your brand on everything because there's a lot of CEOs out there really, so how are you any different? So whenever you're doing something or creating it, make sure that it's marketed. And this is something you can give to anyone.
That's right. And Danielle, you brought up a really important concept is lead with value. If you are constantly leading with value, you're blessing other people with information as a resource, with kindness, with authenticity. Mm-hmm. People really, really want to reciprocate that. Most people are not total takers. Most people want to be a giver back to you. So when you constantly reach out saying, I want to be value to you. I want to give you value. I want to give you value. And then you tell them how to give you value back. People they'll be your cheerleader. They'll do if they know how to do it, they'll do it.
Yeah. Yep. I think of that value as it's the tagline, people want to work with who they know, like, and trust. It's one thing to know you, but they got to like you, right? They also want to do business with people that you want to win or that you want to spend time with, really. Yeah. And you got to trust them. And I think trust comes from value. If they see that, maybe they're not ready to buy a house from me. Maybe it's the soccer parents or it's my mom's group at church. They might not be ready at all. But if over the last year or two, they've asked me, questions and I give them value, I don't have an ego like, well, why would I share that with you? You have another realtor friend or whatever, right? But I literally am just being there for that person with a servant heart. Guess what? A year from now, 2 years from now, maybe it's not even them. Maybe they have a sister that's a realtor, but they have a friend and it could be a $3 million deal for all you know, right? But you got to stay in your lane. You got to own your message and you have to give value no matter what, even if it hurts a little bit. I have friends that not use me. It hurts a little bit. I still show up and answer them, right? Because that's what you have to do. That's the right thing to do.
Right.
And it also, that value piece, Angela, that you said that, I was Googling, like, what's the definition of a thought leader? Because no matter what business you're in, maybe you're not a realtor, maybe you're a CPA, whatever you are, you need to be a thought leader in your business. And so the definition of that is an influencer. A thought leader is someone who is based on their expertise and perspective in an industry, offers unique guidance, inspires innovation, and influences others. So how can we be thought leaders of our business? Because my real estate business might look a little different than Sam's, might look a little different than Angela's, right? So within our business, how we want to run our business, how are we being thought leaders? Because people want to work with the thought leaders, the people that are going to take them to the next place, right? You got to be.
I love that.
You got to stay on top of your business, right? After all, you're the CEO. So it's little things like this. Is this a little innovation? Yeah, maybe, because I could just text, which I was doing, sitting there texting the response like, oh, here's my guy I use for painting, right? And how many times did I do that? And never once. And it literally took me about 2 years to go, wait, I need to
wait a minute.
I'm just giving this out, which I'm still going to just give it out because that's value for people. But maybe there's a way I can market that better. So the next time somebody asks them, do you know a painter? Yeah, actually, my realtor friend. Or maybe they don't even say I'm a realtor, but when they text them that picture of my sheet, guess what? Now that person has my brand, right? So in a way of the digital electronic world, we've got to get this stuff put together under our brand, right?
I love that.
So, yeah. And then this is good for anybody, no matter what business you're in, or even if you don't have a storefront. Maybe think about if you're sitting on the sidelines of a sporting event or whatever, community, church, whatnot. In real estate, we call it marketing pop buys, where we might have like a gift or something we want to just show up at someone's door and really just make sure we're still relevant to them, right? Like, hi, we're here. We're still thinking of you. What can we do for you? Or we wanted to offer you this. It's just a check-in, right? So in my mind, I created a marketing pop-up. And what that is, it's much like the pop buys, but I just wanted to have my marketing pop wherever I was. So on my desk, for example, I'll have Planos out. So that's the real estate listing for those of you that are not realtors or that don't know what that word is, but it might be just the listing detail report. I'll have it sitting on my desk. I don't have it here, but I have folders with my brand on it, right? That would be that if I'm doing like a seller consult, that I'll stick, forms in that I'll carry with them. So it's very clean and branded. I'll have that stuff out on my desk. Am I using it? No. It might have been from yesterday, but I leave it there. I always leave at least one pop-up, because when people walk by, they're like, oh, what's that? Oh, are you selling a house? Oh, what are you doing? Right? People are nosy. It's the age of nosiness. Everybody wants to know everybody's business. And I love sharing it, because if you want to know what I'm happy to share, because again, it's one more thing to make you relevant, right? So I'll leave Planos, branded folders, even my notebook that I have, I'm old school. I like to write everything out. I have my brand on the front of that. I have kind of strategically placed business cards all around my office. So like at the desk where people schedule, in the back where people get adjusted, right? And then the big thing I do in my space, if you have an office, is I put my listing sign behind me. You don't know how many people are like, oh, that's a cool listing sign. Are you a realtor?
Yeah.
I am, right? So Kristen Cantrell, the first time she came to my office, she's like, that is freaking genius. And I'm like,
it is.
you know what? Like, I'm sitting here all day, might as well use it as my sign, right? So yes. I do put that behind me. So if you don't have an office like that, if you're working on your computer, we go to sporting events or things and you're working on your computer, no one knows what you're working on, right? But maybe you have your folder or your cup, or maybe you have a card or something.
Or a sticker on the back of your
computer.
Yes.
I have that.
The old school way is like a shirt, right? But what else can we be doing? Or maybe you're leaving, pens or places where it has your brand on it. Sounds pretty stupid, but you can do some of the stuff that's so cheap. And again, your title companies will help you with that financially. They created all this stuff for me. I think I paid for postage. Same thing with, this. It's really very cost effective, and it's just another way to market yourself. So lean into those for sure.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then the last thing I have is use the holidays. So no matter what business you're in, again, no matter what industry or community you're part of, think about a gift that people can use. So this holiday, I was like a little bit stumped, but I wanted to share this one because I thought it was good. I was going, what can people use that they're not just going to throw away, or it's not like a pie that someone's going to eat once and be like, oh, wasn't that nice? And there's a sticker on the outside of, the packaging. I ordered these. These are little compact wireless chargers. Can you see this?
Oh, yes.
So it's phone charger. And
that's awesome. That's a good idea.
And I had a Christmas tree in my business and I hung these there.
Oh, that is so smart.
Who's going to want to take that? Everyone's going to want that. How many times? I don't even know.
I want one.
Yeah, this thing has like 1,000 hours on it, but You come get adjusted, you leave, and they're like, oh my God, cool. Can I have one? And you know what? Yeah, I could probably say Evolve on the other side, but I didn't. I was like, sorry, honey, this one's for me. I'm putting my brand on this one. Have them all on the trees. But guess what? People want these. Or if I do closings, I'll use them for that too, right? I'll leave it there because when that client is needing to charge their phone or going to their kids' event or whatever, they'll bring it with them, and it's constantly seeing my information. So that was just a good little,
I love that.
I was like, yes, I thought of something that I think is different, unique, but I think people will use. And gifts are kind of hard. I don't know. I have a hard time finding gifts for people. I have friends.
It gets harder and harder because most people are like, I just saw it on Amazon. I'll buy it for myself right now.
I have girlfriends that are the best gifters. They randomly surprise me with things, and I'm like, how did you know? I love this. It's great.
That's a gift. That's a gift from God to be a really good gift.
I don't have that.
I get so stressed out about it. I take 2 weeks thinking about, okay, what could I get this person? Like, what's going to be, because I want it to be a value to them, not just something they're going to throw in the drawer or whatever. So anyways, when I thought about that, I'm like, people feel free to rip this one because people will use it.
So can I ask where you ordered that from?
Yeah, she doesn't remember. Do you know why? These things are really expensive. So I priced out, I can find it and put it in the comments or something, but I priced out a ton of companies because some of them, so this one has like a cord that you have to add into it, like a USB cord. And I'm not sure what the other cord's called, but there's 2 cord outlets for it. Some of them were like $5 for one. And I was like, ooh, I'm ordering like hundreds of these. That's going to get pricey. This one I think was like $1.99 or something. So
yeah, I know.
I'd like to know where you got it from.
Yeah, I'll get that for you, Sam.
Okay.
So it's just, bargaining a little bit, but yeah.
Well, that was awesome. I think if I were
that helps.
Danielle, I think that was such a smart thing to talk about because if you just, I think if I were to summarize it, it would be the concept of stop and think about what you're doing and go, what else am I doing? And how do I work those things together for the good of everything I'm doing? Even if the other thing is just being a great contributor to a group or, whatever, bringing value to a group. So I love that you made us stop and think about getting out of just one lane, opening your blinders a little bit to be more inclusive with the way that you spend your time. That was super valuable.
Yeah. And honestly, it was kind of accidental, but when you start a small business and you have zero money to do it, like we did 8 years ago, you have to get resourceful. And so I would just challenge you, no matter where your business is at. I don't care if you've been doing real estate for 20 years, get resourceful with the people around you or the products or opportunities that you have, and really, like Angela said, step back and go, hold on, I'm doing this. I show up at this meeting every week, or I go to this place all the time, whether it's maybe it's just self-care. Maybe you go to a massage place every freaking week. Well, how can I get resourceful with that? Right? Like,
exactly.
You never know these things we just do and they become routine to us. You're missing out on an opportunity there, likely.
You're so smart, Danielle Jansen.
Well, thank you. I try, but honestly, I'm learning every day. There's things that come up every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as always, you guys, I love that so many people are listening and chiming in. You've got a super fan from Connecticut, Sam.
Yes, I see that. Hi, Tara.
Do you see that? Look at you. Yeah. Let's show. Hello, super fan. Hello, Tara Marie. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And we appreciate you all. We just want to make your business better. We just want to make your business better. So if you have any questions of any of us, reach out. We're here to help. We want you guys to thrive. So God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.